Oh, where's my intro? Okay, they playing with me. We're gonna do it again because this what it's supposed to do, y'all. Hey booze, hey. Do your blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well, sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Ah, hey, booze. Hey, it's your girl, Leanne Dose, your Chief Self-Love Officer over here at the Wake Up Happy Sis Show. And welcome to another powerful episode. Look, y'all already know we are changing the narrative for our people because we're always telling our story our way. And we are always unapologetic about it. Y'all already know how we do. We're broadcasting live on KCCR Cityscape Radio, along with a lot of other platforms. Um, and what we're bringing you, we're bringing you truth. We're bringing you that high energy that you've come to know from us and the empowerment that you need to wake up happy every single day. Now, you know, we always coming to you with some real topics, with some good shit. Today is a celebration of the bold, unapologetic creativity of beautiful Black women. We are the architects of culture, the pioneers of movements, and the blueprint for power. But too often our voices get silenced and our art gets stolen. And our stories, we already know they get rewritten, but not today, boo. I brought two dynamic guests who embody what it means to own your voice, command your space, and create power. We've got Maci J, the fireball host, who takes over any stage she touches, and Dr. Shelley Holt, an educational visionary who teaches leaders how to use storytelling as a tool for change. Look, if y'all ain't listening, if y'all ain't sharing this out to your friends and telling them to get on here and listen with you, I don't know what you're doing, okay? Because you're going to miss out. So grab your journals, grab your tea, your mug, whatever. Mine is water today, but I ain't judging what's in your mug, baby. You drink what you want to drink because it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. Okay, it's time for us to take up space, to step into your power, and to build a legacy that lasts. So, welcome, Maci and Dr. Shelley.
Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Look at all this Black girl magic here. And y'all know Sharonda will be here. And good morning, our favorite Eileen. She is our new resident here every episode guest. And so we love to see her coming in the building. One day she's just going to drop in. She's going to drop in. And as most of you know, this actually is a drop-in show. So if you want to come on and join the conversation with us, you can jump in to wuhs.in/join the live, and you can join us live. But if you get reckless with the mouth, don't come for me because I will. Because look, you go low, I go to hell. You don't want a problem. Okay? So come in, be respectful, and we can all live and be real happy together. Look, I'm just saying, ladies, sometimes you gotta make that disclaimer so people know don't start none, won't be none.
You don't want SAFO up in here. You do not.
You see what I'm saying? We don't want that. All we want is happy, good vibes up in here because we're helping everybody wake up happy. And so, let me make where's my Instagram? I'm missing a window here. See, that's the problem when you got too much going on.
It's just how it goes.
Look, I feel like it's always how it goes. I be trying my best.
You are doing your best. That's what we do. And our best is what we got in the moment. And while you look for that, I just want to say thank you for having me. And I got to be real and give kudos to my amazing assistant who found y'all. Because literally, I show up, and I'm like, oh, this is what I needed today. I didn't even know what I was. She just sized me up. I was like, get me on as many as possible. And this has probably been the best. We haven't even started talking about anything. And I'm already like, all right, let's go. What are we doing? Let's make it happen.
Do here. Okay. Instagram is online now. We are good to go. Okay. We got everybody in the building now. So let's get to it. So before we jump into the full topic, I love to get to know the guests a little bit. And because our topic here is all about the art of defiance, Black women who create power. So it's about art, it's about power. And art is so many different things, power is so many different things. Why would we not feature our guests first? Right? Because y'all are some powerful women, okay? Y'all are some powerful women, and I want to make sure that we are giving you justice, doing you justice here. So, Maci, tell me about this Super Bowl hosting.
Well, I mean, it's been about a year since I've been on the show. And the last time I was on the show, there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of
Yeah.
crying. But since then, I've been working on myself. I've been working on my brand. You see the fireball personality.
Yes.
I've just been channeling all of my pain into my craft and hosting, presenting. That's kind of like my bread and butter. And I have been working, I've been grinding, and we just had the Super Bowl. I'm down here in NOLA. I moved from Kansas down here with my family. And I obviously had an opportunity to host for the Super Bowl experience. And oh my gosh, that was literally the coolest thing that I've been able to do. And I'm super grateful that I had that opportunity. But it also goes to show the type of opportunities that come when you are standing in your authenticity.
Yes.
And it took me so long to be able to do that. And so now I can be weird every day. I can host events. I can just be myself. And that's so yeah, I'm really honored to have done that and also still keep hosting. I still host, I still present, and I'm excited to be here with Dr. Shelley, and she's already has a beautiful personality from what I've seen so far. And I'm like, yes, this is really cooking for Black History Month.
Yes. And this is my thing, right? And I think you are so right when you say when you stand as your authentic self, right? One of my mentors said, told me, he was like, Leanne, you were never meant to blend in. He said, that's why you come in with all these bright colors. That's why you come in with this bald head, blah, blah, blah. This energy is different. And I was like, I've always been, like you said, that weird person, that different person. My friends were not the popular kids. I knew them all. We grew up with them. I was always with the nerdy kids, the weird kids, the ones who just maybe didn't have all the friends. I have one friend, his name was Jesse. He could tell you pi down to like 46 numbers. So I was okay.
3.14, baby. 3.14. That's where I'm at.
Look, he was just rattling off, and he was just one of those people that I didn't realize we didn't have the term neurodivergent when I was growing up. Didn't have that. Right. But as I look, I've always gravitated towards those people. And in my life, I feel everybody has some level of neurodivergence. It's a scale, right? Some people's is imperceptible. Some people's is very much just who they are on the outside looking in, right? And so I realized, why was I trying to fit in so much when who am I to be ordinary when I can be extraordinary and I can be unique? And when I learned that, and I learned that I walk into a room, the energy shifts. Why would I want that? So, and I see that with you, Maci. I see that with you, that you come in with this big personality and you take up a room, baby. I can see it.
The thing that's crazy is that, like, it's uncomfortable to have a bright personality if you're not used to it. Like, you're like, okay, I actually grew up, I'm very introverted. Like, if I'm not on the stage, like, you can catch me reading a book or something, just minding my business in silence. And so I was like the shy kid. I was kind of like, I had some stage fright. I was really, really scared of people staring at me until I figured out, well, when I open my mouth, people pay attention. So there's a gift there. And so just thinking about a story I had like back in 4th grade, I was preparing for a talent show and I prepared, I rehearsed. And then when I got on the stage, like I just froze. was like, oh wow, okay. I need to figure out what just happened because I froze. So I didn't realize that was stage fright at the time. So now I'm like making it my mission. Okay, we will not have stage fright. We're gonna do this. We're gonna turn this nervousness into bright energy. And I feel like it's worked. I feel like it's worked well for me. So thank you for that.
And I love that because there's so many of us that have stage fright, performance anxiety, whatever you want to call it. And I think that sometimes that inability for people to be afraid and still do it.
Right.
To me, that's what separates somebody from a true powerhouse, because that true powerhouse person is going to be like, look, I'm scared shitless right now, but I'm going to still get up on that stage and I'm going to still do it. My voice might shake a little bit, but I'm here to show up and show out.
That part.
What helped you make that jump from that stage fright to being able to own that?
Well, I love performing. That was like the first thing. So I used to study like Sierra. She was kind of like the inspo for me growing up. And I got into performing arts. I started doing pageants, and I really had to get used to like getting on the stage and being on the stage as much as possible, because that's the only way to really overcome your fears, is to keep doing it. Just keep facing it until you get comfortable. And then when I started getting comfortable on the stage, I'm like, oh, okay. So I just changed my nervousness into fireball energy. And I'm like, where did this come from? It just came from me getting comfortable with speaking every single day. I'm hosting every single day. And so through time, it's just getting on stage, getting used to it. And then after you get comfortable, now you can let your personality come through. I don't have to sound robotic. I can relax. So I would encourage anybody that if you're a public speaker, presenter, performer, whatever you call it, is to just keep doing it. Yes. Like, that's it.
Yes. I know from coming from a nonprofit background. So I was a part of National Society of Black Engineers since high school, and being on like the national boards and having to speak in front of conferences of 30,000 people. It's nerve-wracking. And I am an ambivert through and through. I have extroverted moments.
Right.
I can play the extrovert sometimes, but I'm very much like you, an introvert. When I'm not doing that, I'm over here in the background in the cut, chilling. I'm people watching. But if I need to turn it on, I've learned to be more comfortable having to turn it on. And it's like once you get into it and you start, then you realize, oh, there really was nothing to worry about.
And you're a host of your own show. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
Sounds like confidence.
You know, it took a minute. I wasn't always confident, especially being a plus size woman, where they tell you your value is based in that size. And I was like, first of all, I'm fucking fabulous. So I don't know what you don't see.
Right.
You know, I'm fabulous regardless of all this extra weight. And if you don't like it, you should probably just look the other way, because I'm really a closet nudist and I would rather just be naked all the time. But the government says I can't.
Exactly. I'd rather be on a beach somewhere, but there are rules in place.
There are rules and laws that prohibit me from doing that. So my personality has to come out some way, and it's going to come out, and I'm not shutting it down anymore. Right? It's about,
nope.
So let me ask you this. If you had one tip for this Black woman who wants to learn how to fully own her space and command that room without shrinking, what would that tip be? And you can answer this too, Dr. Shelley.
Ooh. I would absolutely say you're already a celebrity. So you got to walk in the room like, yeah, I'm already her. So is the room ready for me? Because I mean, think about it. If you prepare for like the Super Bowl, you're thinking, am I ready? No, is the Super Bowl ready for me? So you got to like reframe it and own that stage, because you're there for a reason. God sent you there to do a job. So do the job. And that's always helped me, is like, you can't focus about how nervous you are. Do your job and do it with excellence and pretend you're a celebrity. Oh, period. People are going to be calling you by tomorrow.
Done. Be like, done.
Done.
What about you, Dr.
I,
Shelley? What would you say?
I would say I probably take a little bit more of a practical self approach where, I love the is the room ready for me? Like I cannot love that enough because having taken up spaces where I wasn't supposed to be
Yes.
over the course of my career. And let me be very clear, it wasn't just our vanilla brethren that were making me feel out of place. Sometimes we do this to our own. And
Right.
I'd be
Yes.
sitting over there with other black women who are looking to step and fetch. And I'm like, I'm not looking to step and fetch. So
Right.
that's just not who I am. We are not the same. You are not like me. They are not like us. All of
Right.
that, stuff. But um, what I would say is I ask myself, do I know my stuff? And I kind of ask myself that question, like, do I know or can I figure it out? And once I can answer that for myself, I'm like, yeah, I belong here. And quite frankly, I come in and take up space unapologetically. And I think that that's one of the big things that we have to realize is that oftentimes we are our own worst enemy and that we beat ourselves up before anybody else has gotten the chance to. And that's the history, the legacy of, coming from enslaved people. That's the legacy of not remembering our roots as kings and queens. That's the
Yes.
legacy of epigenetics
Mhm.
in action in our systems and in our bodies and in our minds. And so the other thing I ask myself is, what would Harriet Tubman do? And quite frankly, I'm not going to allow people to judge me that Harriet Tubman would have shot. And that really does resonate.
Thanks.
Like maybe,
True.
and I just see like
Let me get black on that one because that's real.
She rolled that can out.
that came out, and I told you that out because. Literally, I'll be sitting in meetings and I just literally it's going to sound sadistic, but I'll just be watching like people's heads blow up. And it sounds really weird, but in my mind, I'm like, boom, you're done. No, you're done. Up, you're done. You're done. Because at a certain point, we've allowed people and the judgments that other people have of us to navigate and become so embedded in our brains and in our souls that we believe that's who we are. And let me be very clear. I stopped that a long time ago. I had to stop succumbing to other people's view of what they thought I should or could be. And I love it because many people don't believe it when I say, I'm actually an ambivert or, I'm what some would call an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert, whatever you want to call it. But I'm very similar in that, this room was completely dark before I had to get on my Zoom. Literally in between Zooms, I turn off all the lights. I just feel like I'm in a little hole and I'm just working, and doing my thing. But many people don't understand that about many Black women is who you see out in front is who we've been trained and allowed ourselves to be. I am not a monolith. And I say that because we're all not monoliths. We're all not alike, but I might be different moment to moment. You might get introverted Shelley. You might get, Dr. Shelley. You might get Suge, who's the motorcycle riding, chick that folks are like, who the hell is it? Right. You might get the mama who's going to be like, put on these glasses and be like, look here. Right? Or the professor or whatever else. And I have so many different facets to my personality. And I have to remember when I walk into a room, all of them are coming in. And just know that we had a committee meeting amongst all the me's before I opened my mouth. So trust and believe.
All the
when I said what I said, I meant what I said. And I checked with the committee of people inside my head before I talked to you. And they said it was okay too. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm good with me. And I think the more that women can, especially Black women, can be comfortable and okay with themselves in that space, allow everybody else to figure out, you do what you do, because that's a you issue, not a me issue. And we take on too many of other people's issues. Stop doing that, sis. Be you, do you, and you are just fine as you are. That's and maybe it's because I'm close to 50 now, and I guess you get to a certain age and you're like, I don't care, but I truly do not
care. No, once you get look, there goes Sharonda. Look, Sharonda always come in. Oh, she'll be right back. She popped out, but yes, once you hit 50, because I am over 50, Sharonda's over 50. Once you hit 50, you don't care no more. You we have been on this planet and seen so many different changes and stages and things, acts of violence and terror against us that you can't shake me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be me and I'm unapologetic about it. Right. And yes, I do have very many facets to mine too, because as Sharonda will back up, I am very petty. I am very, very petty. I
Right.
I am like doctoral level petty. Okay.
I,
I
A degree in petty.
most of
I
the
got a
things-
degree in pettiness. Don't play with me.
yes, yes,
Ideology.
yes. I I just don't pop it out on everybody, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll do it before I have a chance because she sometimes get real mad about other stuff that's going on, and she kind of be like, hold up, what you ain't gonna do.
Right,
And then
right.
she pop out before I could grab her back in. And sometimes I don't want to grab her in, but there's also the loving me. There's also, I'm a Cancer, so there's the half emotional, half
Yeah.
I really don't give a fuck side.
Right.
You know, there's also, like you said, the scholar, the lady. I have
Mhm.
I have so many different sides. I also have my inner hater, Ricky Bobby, who always tries to tell me that I ain't shit. And sometimes I have to agree with him. You know what? I
No,
might not be in this
Where's my
instance,
fan? I need a fan moment.
no, for real.
you know. Look, one time I was like, God, that's why I'm single. Have you ever had that moment where you were like,
That's the reason. Oh.
Like that's it right there. Uh-huh. Or
I
you
am
ask
the
yourself, like, oh my gosh, I can't
yes,
believe I'm married. Like I look at my husband sometimes like, are you sure? Like I know we're 15 years in, but I'll be willing to give you like because I'm a mess. I'm a mess and a half. You just don't understand. I
look,
wake up like this.
No,
every
you really go.
every time. And that's the thing. But that's what I love about being a black woman. If you look at other black women who come in and command a room, who honestly in their personal life and in their public life look a little different. Maya
Mhm.
Angelou,
Mhm.
right? Singer, actress, fabulous poetry, commanding presence. The room shifts when she walks in it.
Mhm.
And if you listen to her, she was also an activist, a mother. She had all these different facets to her. Michelle Obama.
Right.
When she first came in, she was very different. And it was wonderful for me to see her fully blossom into that space in the face of everybody trying to judge her more than they judging Miss Orange Face's wife.
You mean the
I don't
porn
even
star?
like
Uh,
Pushing
saying
everybody
Melania?
that's seen all the business.
that. Yeah,
That
we talk. I don't say her name. I don't say his name.
Oh,
And
me
she don't
either.
even like it.
Oh, we don't the name that shall not be said. I feel
I
you.
call him Agent Orange.
unspoken.
Yeah, I call him Agent Orange. That's his
Oh.
name.
But
And
that's
And he went on
true.
the host stroll and found somebody from another country and went ahead and did whatever. Honey,
right.
this is a
And
mess.
my thing is, Michelle Obama has always had grace and class. She was the one that said, Leanne, she didn't say it to me, but I felt like she was talking to me when she was like, when they go low, we go high. I told you my version of that.
Right. You have to though. You have to because
Yeah,
that's
I would say it
what they
depends.
expect from you.
It depends. Sometimes I go high, sometimes I do go to hell, though. Sometimes I will go to hell because some people only understand when you go there. But my go to hell isn't like ghetto extra fabulous. I can cuss at you without saying one cuss word.
Or walk away. Like sometimes your hell is the fact that I'm not in your world. Because trust
That's
and
it.
believe, being around me is a privilege. And so when I cut you off and and send you on your way, that's my way of saying deuces, you can go to hell. And with flaming draws for all I care.
That's it.
Because being around me, being in my presence, being in my space, being around my network, being with me, I know is the ultimate privilege because I know whoever's around me, we going up together. And if you want to
Right.
act a fool and do whatever it is whatever that pettiness is that is now to the point where it's disrespect, because there's a difference, and I don't think we talk about that enough. There's a difference between being petty and I'm irritated with what you're doing and being disrespectful. Because once we get to the point of being disrespectful, I don't have any place for that in my life. I love what Eileen said. After 50, when I tell you, I'm like, and I can feel the change happening. It's so weird. This is stuff
Yeah.
that aunties didn't tell us about, but I feel it happening. Like my mind is different. I wake up different. The first time I walked around the house in my full birthday suit. And did first of all, I didn't even realize it. Then didn't care. I walked around and the kids are like, Mom, where are your clothes? I haven't found them yet. I'm like,
I don't know. I'm just
I don't know yet. But I needed a cup of tea, and that's what I needed right now. And clothes were not an option as I was going to get it. So you can go in a room,
interesting?
Do whatever you're going to do.
Just adding to that, because I'm obviously not 50 yet, but here are a few things that I'm learning just like as time goes on. I'm from Kansas, and it's predominantly white in Kansas. And so I felt like I grew up in a way where I had to be like, okay, don't you act wild. You better act like you got some sense. Like you had to be a certain way or they are going to judge you. Like that's just keeping it real in Kansas. But it's kind of, it's kind of fake a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because they may not like you, but they'll smile in your face and act like they do. And when I moved to New Orleans, it's a complete culture shock. Like it's so creative down here. There are so many people that are doing so many things. I can be myself. And so it just, I don't know. I think even your environment is kind of like a plant where you water it. You can't get watered in a place where it's a desert, So when you go to a different environment that's kind of fueling that fire, you're more comfortable with being yourself. And sometimes when I've had those days where people are like, you need to be this way, you don't need to act like that, you need to just be more reserved, it came off robotic. And I thought about every time I felt disrespected because people didn't want me to be me and I could tell they were uncomfortable, it made me realize, okay, am I doing something wrong? Like I felt like I was doing something wrong. But what I learned from a mentor from a few days ago is that some of these people are not aligned with your values. And if you value authenticity, we're not going to work anyway. It's like, if you want to be a certain way, that's cool with you, but I want to kind of push the boundary. I want to be more myself, no matter what space I'm in, even if that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yes. And we have from IG 1957, DTG said, after many, many years of people pleasing to the point that I was fading away in the background, I turned 50 and decided I had arrived and was not going to be denied the full expression of me. Yes. Yes. I'm going to clap for you on that one because, yes. You have to.
I need me a fan. I just realized that that's going to happen. I love that.
Yes, look, now, see, people don't get it until they see the fan. The power of the fan. You need that fan at all times because there are so many clackable moments in your life that you just got to clack for yourself or for somebody else. And I love what you're saying there, because why should you be denied the opportunity to fully be yourself unapologetically? There are people who will not like how you look, how you speak, how you dress, how you walk.
Right.
What does that have to do with you? That is their issue. You know what I mean? That's their issue. Growing up, I didn't have the ability for everybody to like me. I don't care now anymore. I spent so much of my time trying to fit in, trying to be a part of the crowd, a part of the group. But my groups, like I said, I was always drawn to the off group.
Yes.
Definitely off center group. And that's when I realized, when I was probably not even until my 30s, late 30s, is when I really realized, why do I keep trying to fit in when I was born to stand out?
It was never going to work.
It was never going to work.
And that's the question I have, because right now, my 15-year-old daughter, and I love her and I admire her in so many ways, because she's one of those like quirky dresses, totally different. She told me her style is pastel goth. I had to go look that up and figure out what it meant. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, what that means. But what my point I'm trying to make is that when we come to a certain age, and I love your spirit, Maci J, because when you do in your children, you're going to start to see that as you have allowed yourself to not be shackled by the opinions of others, you're going to unconsciously allow your daughters and your sons to do the same. And seeing that in my daughter and my son, who's my oldest son, he's a second-year law student at University of Alabama. And when you see him, if I were to show him to you, I mean, he's, half Mandarin Chinese, half me. And, he got the painted black ponytails. He's got the hair that's, I mean, like Maci J's hair look like, it's a flat, it's a flattened, whatever, right? And he's just so eclectic and different. And I look at him sometimes, and part of me goes, oh my gosh, like, oh, I know he's going to struggle a little bit because he's different. You don't have, this big old black man with painted black nails in the middle of University of Alabama law, killing it, mind you. And, and so people don't know what to do with him. I look at my daughter and I say the same thing. And I had to ask myself as I was coming in with this personality to kind of shackle them a little bit, because my initial reaction was, okay, let me stifle that because I want to protect them. And I had to even fight that within myself, because that was me going back to my own trauma of being in high school and being the weird kid and being the smart black girl, which meant that I wasn't in the same classes as all of my friends. And so I literally almost channeled my own crap and tried to stifle them instead of realizing the gift that I had given them. I gave them the gift of not having to go through that. And here I was trying to make them go through that. And so I love what we're saying here, because it's helping to validate for me what I was going through, and thank God he stopped me before I did my own way of what I've done for my kids. And how many times do we do that in the name of protecting our kids or protecting someone else? Well, I've had so many people in the workplace. Well, Dr. Shelley, you might want to say that way. They're going to be mad. Fuck them. Shit, they're not as smart as me any goddamn way. Let me be very clear. I established that when I saw your head blow up in my own head, mind you. Right? Like, you're not as smart as me anyway. So, and we tend to now like program ourselves to do that. And so I thank you for saying that. And that's what came to my mind was, thank God I had enough wisdom to not stifle my own children when I had given them the gift that I didn't have, which was the freedom to be me, even in high school, and not feel like there was something less black of me. Because let's be very clear, I was not considered black enough because I was part of those outside groups. I wasn't black enough because I was in the smart group, which led me to have issues with my own blackness and not being able to fully appreciate it until I got to Berkeley. And I said, you know what? Bump them and that. I'm black and I'm proud, and was on every, to try to show how black I was, and realize that that's a piece of my blackness. Let me hush, because I can go on forever, but I appreciate what you're saying, Miss Eileen, because we pass that trauma on, and it can happen unconsciously if we're not careful, and we can go backwards on all the progress we've made.
You know what that just made me think about was just thinking of a story of myself in high school. I was in so many performing arts clubs I was in the step team. I was in show choir, cheerleading. I did theater. I loved like drama. That was like I was a thespian. Okay. And I think it could shows. But whenever we would have these performances for like Winter Royalty or like Homecoming or whatever, there would be people making fun of me. Like they would be clowning me because I had so much passion. I have so much energy. And there was a girl who reached out to me on Facebook years ago and was like, and she told me that there would be people making fun of me when I would be doing my performances. And she's like, I didn't have the courage to stand up to them and say anything to them, but I'm like really proud of you and you inspire me. And I'm like, isn't that crazy? The one thing people make fun of you of is the gift that you have. Okay.
But most of the time they make fun of you out of their own lack. They're making fun of you because you want me to clap on your behalf? There we go.
Yes. There you go. Fan yourself.
Think about it. They make fun of you because you had the courage to go out and do the things that you wanted to do while they're sitting there scared, because they probably wanted to be you. They probably wanted to be where you are. And the fact that you did it and they sitting there scared, more often that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We've been conditioned, especially Black women, to dim our light for everybody else.
That part.
That's what we've been conditioned to. 400, 500 years of conditioning and programming to tell us that we're not good enough, we're not dark enough, light enough, skinny enough, fat enough, thick enough, smart enough, whatever. We go into any space and we have to take over because we've been conditioned. If you don't go in and show up and show out and be 3 times better,
Yep.
then you don't even matter. Right?
Exactly.
So why should we spend so much of our time focused on people, places, and things that are trying to tear us down when we can be in community with people who are here to hold us up, who look like us, who understand the struggles and the trials and tribulations that we've been through, right? Because yes, it's not always the others that are trying to hold us back. It's our own, and it's their fear. They're scared that think about it. They're scared that we're going to get out there. Somebody's going to look, hell, they're going to look at me different anyway.
Yep.
Well, that fear is part of their culture when you think about it. Like fear is, when you look at especially Eurocentric, capitalistic, that whole culture is based in fear, being scared of this and scared of that. I'm scared that they're going to, I mean, you can even see what's happening in the world right now. We're going to get rid of DEI because it's going to get, well, first of all, let me be very clear. I didn't need your DEI anyway.
I've never gotten a job from DEI. Never.
Like, let's be very clear. And the DEI work was not meant for me. I don't need to further understand diversity, understand equity, or understand inclusion. I get it very clearly. Let's be very clear what we're cutting out here. And if we want to talk about a meritocracy, I love when folks say that, knowing that Black women are the most educated demographic in this country. Or maybe they don't know that. They forgot that.
You might want to say that again, because I don't think they don't believe that part.
And you can not believe it all you want to. Look around. And I love the way Congress started out saying, put our resumes together. When I, beat out, this pathetic white man for the superintendency, and I don't use that word lightly. It's on YouTube. You can see our interviews on YouTube together, and you compare his resume to my resume. There was no comparison. You literally are not as smart as I am. They're not as capable as I am. So if we talk about a pure merit-based hire, that's what's interesting of what's happening in our society. People have conditioned themselves to this narrative about Black women that they don't quite understand, and they're literally not looking at the facts that are in front of them. Yes, we operate differently, but you know what? We can also operate in your world. We are the best chameleons there are. And I think that as I'm thinking about even that piece of how we pass down this, right now I'm a lot on legacy, as you can tell. Like I'm really thinking deeply about how are we get to a certain age and you realize, okay, you're not going to be here forever. So what am I leaving? What am I leaving behind with my children, with my family? And right now we're at a place where I'm literally teaching my kids not to fear and how to push past those fears, because you can start to see it even as young as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. You'll see this beautiful light in these children that you have starting to dim. And it's like, hold up, we're not doing that.
Where's it going? Where's it going?
Yeah, where's it going? Hold on. I want you to be that quirky kid. I want you to be the one that, comes and thinks of the sandcastle differently and think, I want that for you. And all of a sudden you start to see these things form where the world has started to condition them. And I think it's really important that we recognize, especially those of us who have reached this place of being able to be our authentic selves, because it's a certain type of liberation that we feel like, I'm gonna be me and I don't care. How do I make sure that you don't dim the light? Because at some point I had this light. I mean, we talk about in the education world, we talk about in kindergarten, the achievement gap literally is non-existent. There is a word gap, like meaning how many words our children know, but there isn't necessarily an achievement gap yet. When you look at kindergarten and first grade, it grows over time. And that tells us that this is a socialized condition as much as it is an academic one. And if we're not careful, we can socialize our next generation into, not being able to fight the battles that they need to fight today, because those battles are different. This world, they're messing around and finding out, and now we're sitting back going, all right, this is the same world we knew what it was, but now you need to operate and fight differently. And this fight, I think that is coming up, is going to be the fight of authenticity versus trying to fake the funk. You're either going to have to be real and come with it, or sit yourself down. And I think that's ultimately what, and I'm just going to say it out loud, what white America is afraid of, because they don't even know how to be real on a global level. They're so socially conditioned, and you can see this in European culture, in any of the countries. You can see how they've been conditioned to follow the socialized norms, and we are literally just the opposite. And so, kind of going into that, we have to figure out a way to make sure that we come together in spaces like this, so we are conscious about what we are not allowing to happen with our kids. Not on my watch. You're not going to dim my kids' light and have them scared of their own shadow like I was coming up.
That's literally like just round of applause for all
the way around.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Sharon.
Hello, ladies. Sorry, I had a couple of family fires I had to put out and stuff.
That's what
right back out.
Right. I was like, I know I didn't click remove. How did she get out so fast? Hopefully she'll be back. But we've been having a fabulous conversation. You've been missing all the greatness.
What's going on here?
Our topic today, and so for those of you who don't know how our show works, Sharonda has no clue what we're going to be talking about until she gets to the show. She doesn't. That is so we can get. I don't want anybody to ever think that anything that happens on this show they think is scripted. Everything that happens here is fully live, not Memorex, unscripted. Sharonda does not know the topics till she gets here. And because I want her to be able to be fully transparent, fully authentic, fully her. Right. I don't want her to feel like she's got to go by a script. No. I want her to just come and do the thing.
And she like to kick around in my brain. She like take
I'd be all up in her brain. I'd be all
like this and then be kicking shit around. And that's how we do our show and stuff, because she be pulling memories and shit out of there and stuff,
That's the best way to do it. But I wanted to go back to something you said, Dr. Shelley, about legacy, because I wanted to get into your craft and your art of storytelling, as a legacy tool, as a leadership tool, because I think it's such an important art form that is being lost in our community. So if you think back on the Black experience, you would have the kids sitting around with either call her grandma, granny, mama, Medea, whatever you had a name for her, the elders, and they're telling us stories. I remember, like, I've had the luxury of having my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother all alive at the same time, up until my teens. Okay, up through my teens. And my great-great-grandmother would talk about how she was feeding her son table food at 8 days old. I was like, you was trying to kill that boy.
What?
8 days old. She was didn't hurt him. So her
didn't hurt him.
It didn't hurt him. She said, I would just mush it. Why? He's 8 days old.
That's crazy.
He ain't died. I'm here. He ain't died. He ain't died. Right? Because she'd be like, that baby's hungry, and she would tell us stories about when she was growing up. My great-grandmother, who was who owned her own taxi. So she would take us and she would just go on driving trips so she could learn new places, and she would tell us stories about when she was growing up. My grandmother told us about how she was riding a hog and got slammed into a house one time because the hog went under the house. In the South, their houses were raised. And she was trying to ride this hog. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But that's what she was doing. It sounded like fun, right? But somewhere along the line, we stopped passing down the stories. We stopped passing legacy on. And like our kids don't know some of these kids don't know who Michael Jackson is. You don't know who Prince is. You don't know the OJs. You don't know, like,
You've been abused if you don't know what those two artists are. Huh?
Yeah,
what kind of
right. Like, I'm like,
they are.
So how do we, so talk a little bit about storytelling, right? And how do we get this back into our community structure?
So thank you for that. And I use, first of all, just know I use storytelling in all parts of my business. So yes, I use it in the traditional sense within our family leadership work and reviving the lost art of storytelling by helping parents and family leaders understand and learn, how do you tell your stories, how do you tell your story, and what does that look like? And I think that I also use it in the professional segment because I have to be, there are certain parts of our existence in the corporate world that people don't know about because we've been silent about them, and we've been silenced, not just silent. And so now that I am in the coaching and mentoring and support space, I have the ear of, the CEOs and executives and the C-suite leaders, able to share with them my experience having been in those rooms with them. And because being able to say, this is what it felt like sitting in those spaces, and now that people know, okay, she is intelligent, she's knowledgeable, it's almost like we have to have a qualifier, right?
Yes.
Or a sponsor, as Yolanda Silly Ruiz talks about it. She says, we have to have sponsorship to be in these spaces so that people will believe who you are. And now that I've gotten the ear of these folks, I realized the more I shared my story, and it didn't have to do directly with them. That's the key of storytelling and making it impactful. I can tell you a story that you can relate to, and you don't have to feel like or know that you were the villain in it. And that's part of the challenge with telling our stories in corporate spaces. So using my position to be able to explain to people, this is how it feels. This is what it's like. This is what I had to do. These are the mental gymnastics that I had to do the same thing that you're doing without having to do the mental gymnastics of being a Black woman in the corporate space. So let's know that that's when we talk about storytelling, that's where I do a lot of it to share our story, because it's not safe, especially for Black women in leadership and corporate leadership. It's not safe for us to tell our story. It's not safe. You won't have a job afterwards. So if I could do that. I can do that as the coach in sponsorship and support of someone like Maci J, who may be in that leadership position, or you, Sharonda, or Leanne, like any of you. I'm on the outside saying, this is what this feels like. And this is what opens the mind of those in the power structure to say, oh, so now I can hear the story, because it's not an employee telling me that I'm racist and I'm bad and I'm this and I'm that. It's this other person explaining their experience, and I don't want to be the person to make somebody else have that experience. And when I realized the power in that, in being able to help those that are coming after me by telling my story, because I, like everyone else, had been silenced. In fact, I remember getting a text after I closed my lawsuit, because I had typed on my page, free at last, thank God Almighty, I am free at last, because that's exactly how I felt. I was like, ooh, thank I'm out of here.
Man,
and then I immediately got a call saying,
don't it?
Right? But I immediately got a call saying, well, you need to take that down. Why do I need to take that down?
Off your page?
Off of my page, around me being free from the shackles that they put me through. And I realized in that moment, oh, y'all scared of this thing about me telling my story. Y'all scared of this.
So hear that.
We always do. We move in silence. And I took it down. Let me be very clear. I took it down, but it sparked something up in here. I was like, oh, y'all scared of me telling people.
That's all the more reason to keep it up there.
I'm going to do this every time. And that's how I started keynote speaking. And people wanted to know, what's your story? What was it like? Now that I'm out and I'm done with it, I'll never go back.
Me too, child. I'm with you. You in a good company.
And I tell them that. And so now when you start telling your story in a way to the right people in the right setting for the right purpose, because notice, I don't just tell all that. I'm not just going to reignite all that pain just to do it. I do it for a specific reason. And my reason is I don't want any other Black woman, any other Black woman to ever go through what I went through. And if me telling my story to this man or this woman in a very safe space lets that happen and enables them to shift the way they think about and treat us, especially in the workplace, I'll do it 10 times out of 10. And so that's how I got into the storytelling piece, was just realizing how much people were afraid of me speaking my truth. So I spoke it in every arena that I possibly could. And it also translated to being a little bit more open at home as well. Because again, we're taught to be closed in. Don't speak your truth. Don't tell your feelings. Don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. We got every phrase. Fake it till you make it. You name it, we got it to tell us not to be our authentic self.
Yes.
Why were they so vexed by what you put on your page? Do tell.
Well, basically because they knew what I put on my page was a reflection of them and who they really are. And many people do not want to face the reality of the pain and harm that they cause to others. They'd rather you be silent about it and let people wonder, but I wasn't. And it was the first time that because people thought, oh, she really wants this job back. I didn't want shit from Shinola to do with them motherfuckers every day of my life. I never want to see you again, ever. Let me be very clear. You go ahead and figure out how you're going to educate them kids. You go on and figure out what you're going to do with them people over there. I saw very clearly what was happening, and I did on purpose, and I do the same exact thing again. I wouldn't change anything about the way I approached it, but they didn't want me telling that story from my perspective. And I had been silent for so long that it allowed people to think.
It has something to do with their fragility.
A little bit.
Their caucasity. Or their audaciousness.
Here we go.
I mean, but when you look at it, right, a lot of times their hope and their desire for us is that we're just going to go away quietly. Yes, I disrespected you. Yes, I may have even illegally mistreated you, whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, it's over. Get over it. No. That's what they want. Get over it. Get over it and go away quietly. Just go away quietly. Don't make a fuss. We shall never speak about this again. Okay? It's over. It's in the past. Why do you want to keep bringing up the past? Because the past, and me telling the past, is how we don't repeat this in the future.
Yeah, that's how
we ended up here right now. Yeah, people don't know the history and don't understand. We done seen this before. That fool in the office is nothing new. This is nothing new.
That's why I told people we ain't got nothing to be afraid of. We are used to this. They'll be more upset. White women are going to be more upset than anyone else because they were the ones who were benefiting the most from DEI initiatives.
I'm sorry. Can you say that in my good ear, please?
Say that.
Let me say that to you. Let me get closer to the mic. Y'all let me get closer to the mic so y'all know what I'm saying.
Okay? I'm listening.
White women benefited more from DEI initiatives than anyone else.
That's what I thought you said. Yeah.
Anyone else.
Yeah. So we can't go about that.
So when you went in, this is not your opinion. We are when you look on the U.S. Department, the governmental list, we are 7th. White women are first, followed by the LGBTQ population, and then I get confused about 3 through 6. But I can tell you that it involves Latino people, it involves Asian people, and then we don't come in, and that's Black people. Period. Until number 7. Of who was beneficiaries of this. Yeah. You know who number 1 recipients of DEI support were? White men. So you want to talk about this and we want to talk about what's happening. And I just want to echo and put a real factual, sustainable a seal of approval on what Leanne just said. This isn't what we heard. This isn't us being fragile and beating our feelings. That's the numbers, folks. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
It's mapping.
It's real.
That's what's reality. And what we have to learn from this is that we have to come and we have to unapologetically take up space. And we have to be confident in who we are and what we know. Tell your inner hater, Ricky Bobby, to shut the fuck up because you about to go in this space and you about to shut it down. Okay. That's what we have to do. Right? We have to stop seeking approval and permission for us to come in and take up space,
But you have
for
that
us to
already
own a
within you,
room.
though.
But most people don't walk in that light, Sharonda. They may have it, but if you don't know you have it, it's the same as not having it. If you've been told all your life that you need to shut up, sit down, and pay attention and only speak when being told, and you are not as good as the white man whose resume, or the white woman, or the Latino, or the Asian, or whoever's resume that you outshine, period, they don't know how to walk in that.
Yep.
Okay, so with Black women being the most educated,
We talked about that part too.
We're over qualified. DI, what bitch?
Yep.
What?
All the time.
All the time.
Literally all the time.
Every job I've gone to, every job,
yes,
overqualified. Winning when I step in the room. I don't need your approval. I came here with approval. What?
Yeah.
I came here to do something. I got a family that's dependent on me.
But then you go and show up as your big self. But look, you go and show as your big self. And I'm sure, Maci, you've heard this. You've had a big personality. You're doing too much.
Yeah, and I love it.
You're doing too much. You ever been told that? You're doing too much.
Can we just water it down? Can we just like take it easy a bit? You know, what if we don't really want the fireball? And then I'm like, okay, well, you just won't get the fireball.
You won't have me then.
But it's crazy because a lot of times in my past, because I didn't go the college direction. So people did not think that I would be educated or smart.
Yes.
Or when I internalized that, I was like, I'm not smart. I don't have a degree. What you mean? But I have a lot of street smart. Like I speak very well, you know, and I feel like that there's leverage there. I think that there's also leverage if you do go to college and you get your education, that's a beautiful thing. But then there's the other side. Some people don't go to college. Are they not smart too? So it's like you're taking up space, but I'm also smart too. Let me show you this excellence. Let me show you better than I can tell you.
Exactly. Don't take my word for it. Let me just show you.
Challenge that a little bit, Maci, is that I don't know that it's are you smart too? It's about how we measure intelligence. Because I may be sitting here and have more degrees than a thermometer, but let's be very clear. If I believe and I have a degree in certain things, I have a degree in educational leadership. Now, if we want to go toe to toe on leadership, I dare anybody, please, by all means. But I want to be very clear. When we talk about education, there are some things that we know and there are some things that we don't. And we cannot get into this fallacy of understanding education as being the same thing as intelligence. I am educated and I am intelligent, but those two things are not the same. There are people that are educated fools, and there are people that are intelligent and do not have the white man's letters before or after their name to justify that. But these two things, being educated and being intelligent, are mutually exclusive. And so you can have and be and walk in that intelligence, and damn it to hell about these degrees if you don't need them. And that is what I tell my own kids. When the person with the degree says, you need to look at what you're trying to do. And if what you're trying to do requires a degree and you believe you need the degree to get those skills, by all means, go ahead and do that. But if what I wanted to do required that I had DR in front of my name because of the spaces and places that I wanted to be in and what was required in white America to do that.
They wouldn't
that
take
is
you
not the requirement.
seriously.
And how dare people get these little degrees from these institutions, and I gives a damn where they come from, and you try to walk into a room and pretend, because that's what you're doing, like you are the smartest person in there and nobody else is intelligent. And recognize, I know that I've said that, and because I have education and intelligence, I'm very clear on where I sit. I also know I've studied plenty of rooms with people with all the education in the world and couldn't put two nickels together to figure out how to do things. And I've also sat in rooms with and community rooms with people that, been in and out of prison, most brilliant minds you've ever seen in your life. And can solve all kinds of problems. But we have internalized this notion that, because this person has DR in front of their name and this one doesn't, that means something. Don't you dare own that. I wish you would. Don't you dare. You are
I used to
brilliant,
for sure.
you may not have the degree, but that doesn't matter. There's nothing about that degree that says that anybody is better than anybody. And I get sick and tired of people, especially our sisters, walking around here with these degrees, looking down on the sister next to you that doesn't, and then wanting to talk about, I'm about all Black people. Bullshit. You're about yourself.
Let me
interject, doctor. We are all going to be together. Then it takes all of us, and some of us have to, play different positions, and we may have certain degrees and certifications to play certain positions in this white man's world we're living in. But that's part of what kills us from the inside out, is looking down on our own people because you didn't do this in the white man's world like I did. You didn't do this. Yeah, I did. What? So y'all get a nerve with me on that one.
Right. I gotta interject. So
with me. You're not gonna walk around with that, Maci. You're gonna walk in this. You are brilliant and intelligent, and that's period. That's the end of that sentence. No more quantifying with the degree. You are brilliant and intelligent, period. That's the end of that sentence right there.
Wait, doctor. I gotta interject. We had a panel, not a panel, but we had 2 guests in January. We remember, Leanne, we had the goddess Black Butterfly, and then we had the doctor, right? So how about we had our own after party after the podcast. We stayed on a whole hour and a half.
They didn't invite me to the after party.
He had to run to a meeting.
I wasn't heard nothing.
Let me tell you. So the Black Butterfly was very self-conscious because she didn't think she was going to get any attention from us because she didn't have a degree. I zeroed in on her. I said, let me tell you something about yourself. You don't have to have a doggone degree for us to love up on you. Let me spend some time with you, helping you get your self-esteem up. Let me tell you, you are different from the good doctor because you have experience that she doesn't have.
That part.
You have things that she can't do, and she has things that you can't do. You have been given everything that you need to be successful, and I'm gonna need you to walk in that shit right now. She's like, nobody ever talked to me like
that. Pisses Sharonda off when you be down on yourself. Sharonda like that shit.
I'm right there with you, Miss Sharonda. Like that.
But I think a lot of times people
and I got her all the way together in that hour and a half, ma'am.
But I think people do come on here and they think that I'm probably going to go a different way because I just mix the guests on here based off of personality, the topics you guys, kind of are interested in. But I don't care who got degrees and who don't. I got degrees. It doesn't matter. I feel every guest brings something unique and valuable. And if I notice that one person is talking too much, then I'll just direct questions because I want both people to feel empowered to have a voice in the conversation. And that's just all it is. We all gonna get a turn. We're all gonna talk and share. I got degrees, but people would tell you I never considered myself particularly smart. I know book shit.
Right.
I know street shit. I've learned how to learn. But anybody would tell you, I don't see myself as any smarter than anybody else in the world. Now, that may or may not be true. I have a knack for certain things. Like you were saying, Dr. Shelley, I have a knack for certain things. I can pick up technology and new stuff like that faster than most people can. I get that. I get that. Affinity. That's my affinity. That's my thing. Tech. I'm a nerd. That's my area. That's my jam. This wellness shit, that's my jam. Right? But you put me over there with some money, I know how to spend it. That's me.
I got a PhD in spending money.
Spendology. Okay, I can spend it. You want me to save spendology? Save money? That's not my thing. Okay, I don't tell Sharonda that because I don't need her all up on me. Okay, not on me.
Because y'all know I will get all up in her Kool-Aid. What you're not gonna do is, ma'am, in front of me, downplay yourself. Right. You will come to the front.
Because everybody got something to bring.
Shine.
Everybody has value. I don't want anybody else ever to come on this show and feel like they are not a star. If I didn't think you would do well on this show, I'm not going to put you on the show because I could sit here and talk an hour by myself.
She can.
I was doing this show alone before Sharonda came. It was just me. I could talk.
Because I started like you guys as a guest.
I told them that. You just never left.
Yeah.
Right? Season 3.
And I love it. And that's what we need. So Maci, in case you didn't figure it out, I didn't really hear anything else that you said, so you might have to repeat it because you lost me when you said. I ain't gonna lie, literally, I was like, what did I just?
Because no, like
you know that none of these don't let, and I have to be the one to say, because I got the degrees sitting here and the DR on my name. Don't think that there's anything more to me than there is to you, whether it's youth,
say it, doctor, say it.
The degrees, like you are exactly where and who you should be right now. And you walking in that authenticity without disclaimers is what's going to be what we need in the next generation. You have to be able to walk in that. And I'm not saying that you were at all, but I heard it. And even in our words, if I hear it, we're gonna be not today.
Not today.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most intelligent people I've met have never had a degree. Have never. Some of them, a couple of them hadn't even finished high school. Okay, hadn't even finished high school. One means nothing.
Yeah, and it's true though, because like I mean, just growing up, if you have like a pretty face, that's all they see. They don't think you smart. They don't think like none of that. So I definitely, growing up, getting into the 20s, was like, I don't really know, like, you know, where I stand. I just didn't feel that way because my brother went to school to be a doctor. Like, he's an OBGYN. So I always compared myself to my brother. And I love my brother. He's so fantastic. But of course, if you're the younger one, you're gonna,
you
realize.
True, Maci.
But at the time, I was like, no, I just don't understand. But I had to create my own lane of success.
There you go.
For me. Yes. And I feel like now I can stand in it. Like I'm fine now. I feel like I feel right.
Now go back in time and heal that little girl that thought that. Go back and hug her. Go back and kiss her and tell her all is well.
All is well.
Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Yes, I stopped comparing myself to people a long time ago because the only person I compare myself with is me. Every day. I try to outdo me. That's the only person, because if I get stuck into, Sharonda's so great with numbers and finances and Dr. Shelley and Maci and I'm always going to be the bottom. I'm always going to be the bottom. I don't give a. See, I was going to say rat's ass, but I was trying not to cuss it. But I don't give a rat's ass what the next person is doing, because my trajectory has nothing to do with Sharonda's. I'm going to still try and push Sharonda forward as I'm moving forward myself. If I got to go back and grab her, Sharonda, bring that ass, let's go. I'm going to do that.
Come on.
Because I am here. I don't just talk the talk. I walk it.
Also, you cannot come in this space and not be your best self, because we won't allow you to. You will not play the back on this show. You will come all the way to the front and shine like the diamond.
What's for you is gonna be for you.
Absolutely.
Like, so that's really it.
Well, and that's the beauty, just to bring it around full circle, of what we do with storytelling, because so much of what we've been talking about is our story and how illuminating our story. Imagine how powerful, Maci, that story is going to be to some young lady like my daughter who is sitting there. She's an artist. She is beautifully brilliant. I don't know if college is something that she's going to do or not, because when I tell you, the girl is so talented and so different from me in so many different ways. And I literally have to go find and look for people to connect her with, because she's just that different from me. And I love that about her. And I don't want to be the one to quench that. So I tell my story and I put her around people that are going to tell theirs, so that she can see her story is valid. Her story is not an anomaly, and her story doesn't need to be like mine. And so doing things intentionally in our community to avoid that comparison, that kind of comparison paralysis that we get into and we have learned to do ever since we in kindergarten, and we sit there looking at who's done first, and if I'm not, it starts all the way back in. that's what we don't realize. It's ingrained in us.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, well, you might have finished first, but this is something I struggle with. But you give me a science test, you give me a math test, I promise you I'll finish that one first. And
Right.
being okay with someone saying it's okay that we are working at different pace. It's okay that we're doing things differently. And that's what storytelling does. It gives people permission to have a different story than the success stories or the hero stories, which tend to be glorified and glamorized. When I tell that, no, working in corporate America was an absolute nightmare. I learned a lot, but I hated every minute of it. When I talked about going to school, it was tough.
Yeah, that's true.
And it didn't fit me. And now that being an entrepreneur and being on my own, I'm finally free and I'm making more money and I'm doing this. When I tell that story to folks, that liberation story, it gives them permission to liberate themselves. It gives them permission to write their own story in a different way. And so that's why I at the core of my business, I had to learn to be comfortable. Because remember, I'm an introvert. I keep my stuff to myself. I'm private, very private. There are clients that know more about me than my own family does, because I will tell them those stories for a purpose. And that's, I think, the difference in the storytelling. Like, I don't just tell stories just to tell all my business. I want you to learn from what I've been through, so you can go make different mistakes. I often say, don't make the same mistakes I did. I'm going to tell you about mine so you can make create some new shit that you can fuck up. Trust me, there's a lot to fuck up along the road of life.
A lot.
Right? There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of detours you can take. I'm going to tell you about these few that I know. And you can go on down and mess around and find out if you want to. But I'm going to tell you this one, and I can see certain things because I have wisdom after a while. Like, I can see if you keep going down that road in that way, this is what's going to happen. And if you cool with that, great. And I think that's where the power of storytelling as a mentoring and coaching and uplifting tool. And that's what I do in my business. I know it does when I say I'm a leadership coach and I coach and create this leadership. Like, what does that mean? And really, it's guiding and supporting people through storytelling, through skill building, through knowledge building. And I help people be their best selves and live their best life. And I love doing it. I mean, as a teacher at heart, I taught school for years. I was a superintendent, did all that good stuff. And I realized that I actually like work. Unlike some people, I like working with adults. I love working with the older folks. Whereas the young people, I ain't gonna lie, they smell funny sometimes. So I was just, you got to deal with the parents. I'm done. But working with adults,
as the older people are not window lickers, I can't do that.
Well, some of them, they got their helmets on and they look in the window.
You know what a window, right?
Let's go.
If I know you probably wonder what the hell is a window licker.
Yes, do tell.
I know what you're talking about. Exactly.
I know Dr. Shelley knew what I was talking about.
Maci J and I get in on this.
Yeah, I'm like,
even though it's not a coach of the proficient term, we got to be kind to our neurodivergent, but we know what we're talking about.
That would be me on my petty side, making that statement of somebody who is a window licker. A window licker to me is a person who I'm trying to find a nice way to say it. Okay. So I am somebody who is very patient when I'm trying to teach somebody something new. The window licker is a person that I'm not going to keep telling you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after time 6, you still over here like.
Okay.
Do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying now?
Right.
They're just.
That's why you got to tell them to take the tongue out and put your tongue in your mouth.
Put it back in.
Put it back in. Get off the window. Come on.
Maybe this ain't for you. This might not be for you. Going back over that. That would just mean bring a little light to everybody's day. I don't actually. I would never call.
That's my new vocabulary word. Window licker.
My kids say that to each other. I'm like, Taylor, stop looking at the windows. AJ, you being like that's literally their word. It's so funny to hear them all.
That's hilarious. I got that from one of my friends, and when she said it, I was like, "Yeah, Donna over here on IG." She was like, "What is that?" She wanted to know too. Now y'all know. I got that from one of my friends, and I immediately had a vision of people in my head when she said it, and I got it immediately. they're the ones that hold everything back because either one, they ain't paying it. Not 9 times out of 10, they ain't really paying attention. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with their ability and capacity to learn. Let me start by saying that their slowness is chosen. It is implemented in themselves, and it might be implemented because that's what they've been told by others their whole life. You might actually have, and I'm not talking about somebody who actually has a learning disability. I am not her to talk about them. I'm talking about the people that are choosing to be a window licker.
Oh, choosing it. Oh.
They chose that life. And they not going to keep taking up my time.
That word.
Now, I will help you and spend extra time with you if I realize that you are somebody who needs a little help. That's not who I'm talking about. I need to make sure y'all don't think I'm talking about people who have actual learning disabilities and challenges. But sometimes even those with learning disabilities and challenges use that as a crutch, and they use it as a way for them not to succeed because you've been told all the time that you can't. Don't come here because we don't accept that here.
Right.
We don't accept that here. So if you come here, you will be the best version of yourself, whatever that is.
Or else.
Whatever that is. Don't try to be Maci J. Don't try to be Dr. Shelley, Sharonda, or Leanne. Be the best you that you can be, because we expect excellence, and I will not accept anything less from anybody that comes into my space.
Say it.
If you want to be a window licker, you shan't.
Not here, you won't.
Yes, they shan't. You shan't be in my space.
Shan't not.
And you will not get a fan.
You will not get a fan.
I
appreciate that.
All right, y'all. It is now 11:16. We gotta go. We are over time.
Just goes too fast.
This hour. Eventually, Paulette gonna be like, just make the show an hour and a half, Leanne. No.
And then if you do that, then we won't ever make it beyond an hour.
Yes, Eileen got it. Weaponized incompetence.
Oh, Eileen.
Eileen came with the fire. Okay.
All right.
Weaponized incompetence.
I'm about to buy that URL in a minute. Weaponized incompetence.
So I'm gonna go ahead and buy that in just a second.
I'm telling you, because I see something with that. Let me take a screenshot of that because
go ahead and make sure you make a note of that.
Yes,
yes. I'm gonna quote you on that one, Eileen, that's a good one.
Because that's real. And Donna over there on IG, thank you for participating. She been, I've been posting her stuff over here so we can see it on this side too. But thank you. You've been here before. I've seen you before. You come on back. We're here every Monday, every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Supposed to be 10 to 11. But, we always endeavor to get it right. Look, this is what I want to leave y'all with. I want you to take up space. Walk in that room with all the confidence of the Black woman that you are. Black man, we just talking to the Black people today. I want you to walk in that space, sis. I want you to own it. I want the energy to shift when you walk in that room. Yes, you're holding your head high. You are that what, Maci J? Fireball. And we're unapologetic about it. Bring that big personality, because obviously that's what they needed in that space. Stop dimming your light. Today is your day. This is your month. This is your year to step out of your comfort zone, to stop being afraid, to stop letting Ricky Bobby tell you that you are less than, that you are not as good as you are. You are perfect, wonderful, just as you are. It doesn't mean you don't want to get better. Doesn't mean you don't work to be better. It just means that as you are right now, you are loved, and you are amazing. And you better not come in our space with anything less than greatness, because that's how we feel. So, we're going to let our guests have their final word. Maci J, would you like to give a final word and tell the people how they can connect with you and get this fireball to host their event?
Yeah, I'm a Instagram baddie. So if you want to follow me at the fireball, 4 L's. And I would love to leave people with this. It's more than just being a presenter, an event host. My whole mission is to just bring joy to people, bring this lover energy, and to make people feel seen, heard, valued, having those conversations and just making people feel seen and just bringing all that love love to them. And that's what brings me joy. So being authentic, being yourself, being confident. If loving people is what you do, then you need to follow me, because we love on people over where I'm at. So thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Sharonda, for this platform. Thank you, Dr. It's Shelley?
Yes.
Shelley. Okay, I was like, am I saying that right? Dr. Shelley, for all your wisdom and your kindness and your beautiful spirit. It was so much fun being here, guys. I want to come back.
You know you're always welcome. You're always welcome to come back. And you, Dr. Shelley?
What I'm going to say to folks is just know you're justifying who you are, and wherever, please refrain. And this is, I'm going to probably give you a words of wisdom. Refrain from comparing your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 23. You don't know what folks have been through. You don't know how much work it has taken. And you also we tend to naturally downplay our own experiences, especially those we have survived, not realizing that you have a champion story in you. You have experiences that other people can grow on. And the minute you see value in them, other people will too. The minute you see value in you, other people will too. So I'm going to encourage you to accept and receive the love that people have for you. Accept and receive the love that we, the 4 of us, are here because we love you and we want to see you do well. We want to help all of us, because we only uplift when all of us uplift. So if you would like to reach me, I'm on LinkedIn. I am learning IG, so I am not the person. So I'm learning IG. I'm the LinkedIn, Facebook still. You know, I gotta own my generation and where I am. But what I will tell you is this: no matter where you find me, you will find love. So if you are interested in increasing your network, your net worth, and being more profitable and successful in what you're doing, give me a call there, or jump on one of our pages, because we are here to uplift and support, always in different ways. You got your finance person, you got your health person, you got the fireball, you got help with leadership. Like, you've got all of these supports that are here for you. And we mean that. We're not just here. We're regular people. We mean we are here to help. So give us a call and just know you are loved. If nobody told you they love you today, we love you. We appreciate you. Make it an amazing rest of the day and week. But if you can't, don't you dare ruin anybody else's. One love.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes, Dr. Shelley.
Sharonda, your final words?
I was going into our messages, and Eileen has been lighting them up.
Hey,
she said something about a lot of people need that kind of in-your-face positivity to snap them out of that low vibrational conditioning.
That's what she said.
Absolutely. So, if you haven't figured out, when you come in this room, you will not be the same when you leave, because during this time, you will be pushed beyond your limits of how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. And if it is low vibrating, like Eileen said, I promise it won't be by the time we get done with you with this first show. Promise you won't see. You can't be here and be the same after we get done with you. It's impossible. We will always pull and harvest your greatness and show it to you so you can show it to yourself when you see it in the mirror. It's there. I promise it's there.
It's always been there. It's always been there.
Absolutely. You came here prepared, fully prepared. God did not make any mistakes when he made each and every one of us. You are walking, talking blessings. You have 100% of getting through every single thing you've ever been through. And you're still here. You're 100%. Still here.
100%.
I'm just saying. Math is math.
What kind of odds that you don't get that nowhere else?
Just saying. That's what you will get when you messing around with us.
Yes.
And I want to come back too. I just wanted to say that because Maci J said it. And I want to come back to.
You can definitely come
back. I know, right? I'm going to take her. Like all of the things, like this is what I needed this morning. I'm going to be real with y'all. Like I've been on the phone. I'm on the West Coast. I've been up since about 4:30 this morning getting ready. And I did my first call at 5 and y'all were at 6. 6:45. Already my next one's calling me. See how like this, but I needed this. I needed this in so many ways because you get beat down even when you are an entrepreneur. You get to feel like, is what I'm doing mattering? Is it helping anybody? You look at the world and you're like, am I making a difference? Like, please tell me I helped somebody today.
Come on,
Right? And I needed this for me. So thank you for all three of you. You have fed my spirit in a way that I just needed today in the midst of working in education. You can imagine what my people are going through. And my phone has not stopped ringing. I mean, since this knucklehead was inaugurated or since November, really, but especially since he's and Friday with the letter and all that. So I've just been like this. I needed this moment.
That's why we're here.
We're here to pour into you.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And I want to thank y'all for coming and being a part of our ability to light up somebody else's light. If this is your first time at the show, listening to the show, you did not find us by happenstance. It was not by chance. It was God ordained for you to be here. And I'm not all that overly religious like that, but I want you to know the Most High put you here for a reason.
Absolutely.
We do this because we are led to do this. We are called to do this. And we are going to be here to make you be the best version of yourself. If we got it. Now, I ain't going to drag you kicking and screaming. Okay? Run with 100, but don't drag one. If you want to stay with those limitations, I'm going to let you have them. But if you're here and you're listening and you stay here, you obviously don't want those limitations. So stop lying to yourself and let's step into the best version of ourselves. Step into the light with us, Carol Ann. And if you don't know that reference, you ain't old enough to talk to me. But it's okay. I'm going to still talk to you. But if you don't know who Carol Ann is, come into the light. You don't know that, then really... Because Macy's looking like, I don't know it. I know you don't, Macy. Okay.
Girl, Poltergeist. I want you to go back and watch the movie.
She don't know nothing about it.
Carolyn, step away from the TV, Carolyn.
We're telling you to come into the light. We are the light of your lives. And we appreciate you being here with us for another fabulous episode. We'll be back on Monday. And yeah, I want y'all, look, have the day you're meant to have because you actually have control over how you respond to everything that happens to you. Don't let everything beat you down. You are your own light. You got this, and we got you. We'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Wake Up Happy Sis Show. Join us live every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more joy, healing, and sisterhood. Until next time, keep thriving unapologetically, sis.